If you want to toughen up the V8 in your 2010 through 2021 5.7-liter Toyota Tundra, this AFV Mach-Force XP 3-inch single-side exit exhaust system with the black tip will be a great choice to look into. Now, this will be a solid option for the Tundra owner who needs to replace their exhaust either from wear over the years or simply just to get some better sound for the enthusiast who wants to hear their exhaust when getting on it while simultaneously having a comfortable system for day-to-day driving. Now, speaking of the volume, the system will get a 3 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being Wake the Neighbors loud, so you will get an increase without going overboard. Along with the sound, this will suit the Tundra owner who wants to keep a simple and sleek build with a single side exit similar to factory, just wants some more character thanks to the black tip on the back. This system will no doubt add a throatier sound to the Tundra, being deeper and much more aggressive than the factory system without getting raspy, especially in the higher RPM ranges. Now, you will be able to hear this in the cab when your foot is on the throttle because of the volume level, but it won't be too overpowering and will have little to no drone at all when cruising at low RPM for a comfortable experience. Now, that's thanks to the straight-through free-flowing muffler that will help absorb high-pitched frequencies and tones to give you the volume without any annoyance. It's also going to have the black tip on the back, which will add much more of an aggressive feel and match with other black accessories, as well as having the AFV badging stamped right on the side. Now, this is all made of a 3-inch 409 mandrel bent stainless steel construction for good rust resistance, especially in drier climates, and will hold up very well over time compared to other aluminized options. Now, the tip is also stainless with a tough black coating on top that's going to be there for show, of course, and protection to the stainless underneath. Now, it's also going to have the AFV badge welded to the tip, which is a unique take in the styling and will make the system stand out from the rest. And the hangers will also be tapered at the ends and welded in the factory location for a direct and solid fit. This is about $900 and right in the middle of the road with pricing. Now, what makes this stand out is the more simple styling. It's not going to be too flashy, the more aggressive appearance that it brings to the table, even though it is more minimal with the single side exit configuration compared to others, and the fact that you're getting a solid volume level with good sound. Now, compared to others, you're not going to get any drone. It will still give your Tundra the character that you want without being too obnoxious, and is overall a good looking system without completely breaking the bank, making it a great pick for you. Now, this is going to be a lighter 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Probably it'll take you about 2 hours to get the job done with some pretty basic hand tools and the right setup. Now, at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how you can get this onto your Tundra, whether you're tackling this job yourself or you're just curious about the install. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
For this install, you will need a couple impacts, 14, 15, and in our case, 17 millimeter sockets, a hanger removal tool, and also not shown here is a pole jack and an extra set of hands to help you with your factory setup. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our Tundra, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory setup, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, so before we can get started installing our new exhaust, we're going to go ahead and get our factory one off. We're going to show you how to do that while keeping our factory pipe intact. Obviously, if you plan on never reusing your original equipment, muffler and exhaust pipe, you can just cut it and make it a lot easier to remove off of your truck, to be quite honest with you. But this is a fleet vehicle, so this installation is not going to be permanent. So we're going to show you how to get it all out in one piece. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing I would recommend doing before you get going here, let your exhaust cool down if you've been driving your truck, and also get in there with some lubricating oil and spray up the little rubber hangers. That'll make popping those metal hangers out of the rubber a lot easier. All right, now to get started, like I already said, guys, I'm gonna make sure everything's cooled down. These first 2 bolts that we're gonna take out are right by a catalytic converter, which gets really hot. And we've been letting our truck sit for like an hour and it's still pretty warm. I also recommend having eyewear and some gloves while you work with your exhaust. Exhaust pipes tend to have sharp edges to them, not to mention the surfaces being hot as well. So let's go ahead and get these out. Our factory bolts are 14 millimeter. All right, same 14 millimeter socket for these 2 bolts as well. Now we're gonna have a total of 4 rubber hangers like this, guys, and to be quite honest with you, if you're trying to keep your pipe intact like we are, you can do these in any order that you want. We're kind of doing it the way it might be easiest for us to demonstrate for you. So we're at the one that's all the way obviously back here by our spare tire. And you might see a little bit of wetness here on the rubber. I sprayed some penetrating oil on there earlier just to let it sink in. That makes these coming off a lot easier. All right, guys, now this is the 4th out of 4 rubber hangers. So obviously once we pop this one loose, you gotta make sure your pipe is supported in some kind of way.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory setup off, we can go on with our new one. And we're gonna start with our new mid pipes to our factory 2-bolt flanges. So we're gonna start with our driver side one. We wanna first get our hanger rod into our factory isolator, and then we'll get our 14mm bolts back into our flange. Get that lined up. Bolts in place. Now we'll get our passenger side one in as well. Once again, we'll go into our isolator. Get that in place. Now that we've got our flanges lined up, again, we'll reinstall our factory bolts. One of ours on this one is a different bolt due to many previous installs and wearing out our hardware. Now we're going to leave these loose while we install the rest of our system to allow for a little bit of adjustment. Next we can install our muffler section. Now before we get that on, we want to install our clamps for our slip joints onto our mid pipes. Slide our 2 provided clamps on. And we've got a pole jack to help us hold our muffler in place. Get that in position. And line up our hanger rod with our factory isolator. And line up our slip joints. With our mid pipes. Once you have this in position, you can grab your 15mm socket on your impact, line up your slip joint clamps, and snug these down. Again, we're not going to fully tighten them just yet. Do the same thing for this side. Next, we can get our over axle and tail section in place. So once again, we'll grab our provided clamp, get that over our slip joint. We're going to send our tail section over our axle. We'll get our slip joint and our hanger lined up. Once again, we'll get our hanger into our factory isolator. Make sure our slip joint is lined up. We'll grab our 15mm socket yet again and snug this clamp down. Now we can install our tip. Slide that on. They do have some room. You can have it more out or more in. We're gonna go pretty much flush with our bumper for ours and make sure our slash cut is facing up. We'll come in with our 15mm socket, And we can tighten our clamp down for our tip. So now once you have everything in place, you made sure your tip's where you want it, nothing's gonna be hitting or rubbing, we can go back and fully tighten down all of our clamps and our 2 flanges. Now we'll start with our over axle clamp with our 15 mil socket, followed by our 2 muffler inlet clamps. Now we can tighten down all of our flange bolts with our 14 mil socket on our impact. And again for ours specifically, because we have a different bolt in, our 17 mil socket for this one. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our AFE Mach-Force XP 3-inch single exhaust system with black tips and side exit for your 10 to 21 5.7 liter Tundra. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Tundra, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.